So you might have heard of the triangle for students, and it says to pick 2 out of 3, and those 3 are social life, good grades, and enough sleep. Because this video is focused more for business majors, and business majors tend to be a little bit more focused on career, I'm going to turn that triangle into a square, and we are going to add career to the 4th one. In today's video, I'm going to go over my advice and tips on all 4 of those aspects of the square and how it might be possible to have all of them. For some background on myself, I did a double concentration in finance and economics at NYU Stern. That's the undergraduate business school for NYU. During my 4 years there, I worked summer internships for every summer except for the summer after I graduated, because that was when I was starting my full-time job. In terms of clubs, I was primarily active in one student organization that was very focused on business and finance. I studied abroad for 1 semester in the Czech Republic during my fall semester of my sophomore year. I graduated 3 years ago, and since then I have some thoughts on how I would reduce some of my college experience if I could start over again as a business major. So first one that we'll start with is social life. You hear it all the time. People tell you that college is one of the best times of your life. And for some people it is, for others it isn't. However, one of the reasons why I find that some people say that is because college is legitimately one of the best and one of the last times in your life you'll have the opportunity to so easily meet new people, because once you finish school, everyone starts to go on their own individual paths, they start jobs, and a lot of times when you start a job at a company, you don't have the same kind of interests and similarities that you would with going to school with someone. From sophomore year to senior year, I really regret becoming more bubbled in and not meeting as many new people and pretty much talking to the same few friends over and over again. And that was in part because I was also too shy to just talk to a bunch of new people when it seemed like everyone already had their friend groups. Another great way to expand your network while you're in college is joining clubs. If you're a business major, there are a ton of business and finance focused clubs out there. However, you do not have to stick to just those. I actually recommend joining a few clubs focused on career, but also join clubs that you actually find interesting. For example, during my freshman year, I joined the board game club purely out of interest and also to meet new people. I think that's a great way to meet people who are in different majors and who you might not have met otherwise. As you get older and move on in a career path, your circle and people you meet will become narrower and narrower, so college is a great way to start with a wider net. Another recommendation is to make friends with upperclassmen, especially as business majors. This is because upperclassmen have already been through the path. They know which classes are the good ones, they can recommend you certain classes to take and certain classes not to take, and they'll also start working before you, which means that when you're recruiting for a job or you're looking for a full-time job, you're going to already know people in the full-time workforce who are interested in the same career path as you, and they're always going to be 1, 2, or 3 years ahead, and they can serve as great mentors. For me, this is something that I definitely didn't do enough. I had a ton of imposter syndrome where I felt like I wasn't smart enough or good enough to be friends with someone who is a year or 2 older than me. But now, after graduating from college, you realize that everyone who's within 4 or 5 years of you kind of feels like they're around the same age. But it definitely didn't feel like it that way in college to me. People always ask me how they can best prepare in college for recruiting, especially when they first join college as a freshman. And my number 1 tip is to just keep up your grades. And I know that might be really hard if you're already in your last year of college and you haven't maintained your grades, but I would definitely try to keep it up to the extent that I can. I always respected the people who actually chose classes out of pure interest and really tried to make the most out of learning from every class, rather than just taking the class and aiming to get a good grade at the end. If you actually enjoy the process and you try to learn the material out of interest, it's going to more naturally result in good grades. Once you finish university and you join the workforce, there isn't as much intellectual curiosity in the actual work you're doing because it's a lot more narrow. When you're in university, you get to take a large collection of different kinds of classes with different people, and there's a lot of room to learn so much. Whereas when you're working, for a lot of people, it tends to be the same process over and over again. Third is career. Honestly, for business majors, about 90% of what you learn in class won't be directly applicable to your job. When it came to my career, I didn't resort to the classes that I was taking in school, but instead I would use a ton of online resources. I use websites like Wall Street Prep that had a lot of free content on different careers in business, what the salary looks like. They're a great resource for any business major. They have tons of different packages ranging from financial modeling to soft skills. There's essentially a course for almost every type of business career out there, ranging from investment banking to venture capital to sales and trading. Wall Street Prep was basically my holy grail when I was navigating recruiting for my career back in college. I'll include a link in my description box below if you're interested. If you use my code Angela, you'll be able to get 15% off any of their boot camps or courses on their website. And the fourth point is enough sleep. For a lot of students, sleep seems like a no-brainer to cancel out, and they'd rather have social and grades and their career. However, sleep is actually super important, and you might not feel the effects of it when you're still young. But it's been proven that the shorter you sleep, the shorter your lifespan is. Lack of sleep is actually the leading cause of a lot of diseases like heart disease, obesity, Alzheimer's, and you don't get to experience all of these issues until much later on in your life. It's been proven that humans need at least 7 hours of sleep in order to have cognitive performance, and having enough sleep is going to be vital for securing good grades and doing well in school and for your general mood overall. If you prioritize sleep, you're going to see added benefits in the other corners of the square. If you're well rested, meaning you get more than 7 hours of sleep per night, you're going to be well rested during the day. You're not going to be suffering from fatigue. You're going to find that you're more productive and you have better attention to detail, and you're just going to be more efficient in general. Some tips I have for getting better sleep are: 1, not taking naps after 3 p.m. during the day. When you're taking naps after 3 p.m., you're not going to be tired late at night, and you're going to end up sleeping even later, and that in itself becomes a vicious cycle. Suggestion is to exercise. I wouldn't exercise right before bed, but if you try to add in about 30 minutes or so of exercise during the day, you'll be able to sleep a lot better because you've expended that energy during the day. Third is to try to stick to a nighttime routine. If you have a set routine every night and you stick to a specific sleep schedule where, let's say, you sleep by 12 a.m. every night, and then you have a specific sleep schedule where you wake up in the mornings at 9 a.m., you're more likely to stick to it rather than not having a sleep schedule at all, and you end up sleeping later and later every night and end up waking up later and later. Much easier said than done, but I'd really just recommend keeping an eye on all 4 of these and trying to have all 4 equal to the extent that you can. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!